extraordinary people. Welcome back, where we go from ordinary to extraordinary through faith, fitness, and motivation and God's wisdom. Today is Monday's morning motivation. And I wanted to start off by saying this week, or just in general, being a good servant of Christ. And I wanted to read 1 Timothy 12. And it says, be an example, all believers, in what you say and the way you live, in your love, your faith, and in your purity. And I wanted to just say, just to start off, as far as what you say, and tell you guys of the way you live, the way you love, and in your faith, and in your purity. And I wanted to give you some tips this week to go about living this way in your life, but just also motivating you this morning. So let's get into it. So the first thing is what you say. Speaking positive over your life and speaking positive over other lives. Controlling the tongue and always keep God in your mouth. Pray, praise, and prioritize speaking His word. So that is 3 ways of being an example of Christ and speaking about what you say. So, second, we're going to put it says in here is the way you live. And I believe that God wants you to live in holiness, and He wants you to live a disciplined life, and He wants you to live through faith. And He also wants you to live through being having hospitality. He also wants you to give. And those are, I feel like, how you could be a good servant of Christ, and that is living in holiness, being disciplined, hospitality, and giving. And I really love to give. I think that is like the best thing you can do and be an example of God in how you live is by giving and being just generous to other people. So that is how you live and being a good servant. So the next one is going to be in your love. And that's through family, that's through people you don't even know. And that also is just being through your kids and just being through just loving in general over life. And I feel like God says, love one another, love each other. For God Himself have taught you how to love and how to love one another. So one thing everybody knows about God is that He demands you to love, to love, to love. He says that love conquers all. So, how to be a good servant of Christ is also how you be an example in your love. The next one is in your faith. You know, this is my favorite one. I totally love the word faith, like just in your faith. You cannot please God without having faith, but first you have to believe that He exists. So I feel like being a good servant of Christ is also in your faith, how and what you believe, and also pleasing God by having faith and believing and saying that He exists, acknowledging that exists. And that is a good servant of Christ. And the last one is in your purity, and that is your inner wholeness, in your morals, and being free from sin. And I feel like when you align yourself with them things, those are ways you could be a good servant of Christ. It's also being in your purity. So I wanted to just say to you guys, remember that being a good servant of Christ is about what you say, the way you live, in your love, in your faith, and in your purity. And just think this week, even if you can't do all of them, because I know sometimes that's probably a hard thing to do, but just do a few. Start off with like a few within your day, a few within your week, and just keep building on. You can start off by what you say, and then in next week you can go by the way you live, and then next in your love, in your marriage, in your friendships, and just people you don't even know. And you also can do it in your faith. This is the easy one, because faith, all you have to do is believe. All you have to do is believe that the things we cannot see will happen. And don't forget, in your purity. And that's just making the right choices, staying away from sin, having inner wholeness. And you got to do that by reading His word. So remember, you guys, share this, like, comment, and subscribe. And always in the beginning of this week, let's start off with being a good servant of Christ. So I just want to say thank you guys for joining. I hope you come back and stay extraordinary. Bye.